Who looks richer, sexier, more fashionable? This afternoon on PM Magazine, get a preview of TV's Glamour Wars. Watch Dallas and Knots Landing team up against Dynasty for a battle that won't be fought in the oil fields. Skimming the Earth at 100 feet above the ground, these spy planes are on a dangerous mission. See how they sneak across enemy lines to photograph targets without getting caught. And he's everyone's favorite little rascal. We'll meet the one and only Spanky. He's all grown up and still leader of the gang. Good afternoon, and from the Timberdoodle Pumpkin Farm in Apple Valley, this is Monday's PM Magazine. Hi, I'm Pat Brown. Steve Doyle has just a few days off. You know, one of the best places to get a good look at some of the most expensive high fashion today is on the nighttime soap opera Dynasty. With wardrobe budgets of up to $15,000 a week, it's no wonder Dynasty's ladies turn heads. But the women of Knots Landing and Dallas are not about to be outdone. The stage is set for a new saga, TV's Wardrobe Wars.
All the Ewing women have had terrible luck.
Yes, it's time again for our favorite TV families, the Carringtons and the Ewings, to let us watch as they deal with such mundane family affairs as attempted murder, organized crime, and adultery. Seems like whoever outdoes the other gets the prize, called ratings, which is far more important than some measly oil deal. I'm Dale Harimoto. The winner this year might just be determined by who outdoes who in the glamour department. Last year, Dynasty walked off with top honors with their high fashion line of jewelry, furs, and clothing. But #1 ranked Dallas and its spin-off Knots Landing aren't about to take that lying down. In an effort to combat the razzle-dazzle of Dynasty, they've come up with a secret weapon of their own. The secret weapon is named William Trevia, Bill to his friends, and it's his job to create clothes for those soapy Lorimar sagas Dallas and Knots Landing. His list of Oscar and Emmy Awards and nominations would choke a clothes horse. Some of Bill's most famous designs were draped around the likes of Marilyn Monroe. Who could forget this fluffy little number from 7 Year Itch? But while Bill will prepare the wardrobe for the entire cast of both Dallas and Knots Landing, his primary emphasis will be on the ladies.
I only love a woman when she's beautiful, at her most beautiful, and that to me is glamorous. And if I can make her sing from the outside, she'll sing from the inside and spell out, I'm glamorous.
The wardrobe wars began when the ladies of Dynasty began sporting the fashions of famous designer Nolan Miller. Soon, folks paid more attention to what Joan Collins was wearing than to what she said. Not to be outdone, producers for Knots Landing and Dallas wanted dazzling duds too. And along came Bill.
We are going to make this a fashion show as well as a wonderful drama. And there's not a reason in the world, in all believability, why these ladies shouldn't have the most beautiful clothes in the world. They can afford them, so now we're going to show them they have them. Dolores?
Oh, that is beautiful.
This is a kabuki coat.
Oh, Bill, I think this is just perfect for me.
Yeah, I do too. And it's all double. It's silk jersey.
Oh, now
All
who
draped.
wears this?
This is going to be Linda Gray when we have the big ball at the Oil Barons Club, which is an annual event. And I see her looking gloriously like that.
On Knots Landing, Donna Mills plays the conniving and ambitious Abby Ewing.
Come on, you can tell me.
But even a real witch has to be glamorous.
He's told me that he sees Abby as very sensual, yet strong. Different than some of the other characters who are strong and sort of more, I don't know how to say square. I don't mean square, but more of an angular kind of design. He sees me as being very sensual.
Also on Knots Landing, lovely Lisa Hartman has had more lives than a die-hard battery. Already killed off once, she reincarnated as a new character last season and loves her new look, courtesy of Trevia.
I think there's more of a style there now. I think that's what Bill has brought to and given all of us. There's more of a maybe consistency or consistent look because of him.
Meanwhile, among the Dallas cast, Susan Howard, who plays Donna Krebs, is enjoying her new panache.
Now, let me tell you why it's absolutely incredible. Because I feel good in it.
That's where it is. Thank you.
Yes, success is the bottom line in Hollywood. Maybe in this case we should call it the hemline. For this season, the question may not be who shot JR, but who dressed Sue Ellen. And we know the answer to that question already.
If you like seeing the stars in those fashions, well, maybe you can picture yourself in them too. Soon there'll be a line of clothes based on the Dallas and Knots Landing collections, and supposedly they'll be affordable. Up next, we'll meet everyone's favorite little rascal, the one and only Spanky. He's all grown up and still leader of the gang.
There's a trail down there most folks use to get to know this mountain. I've gotten more out of going my own way. Lots of cereal seem to satisfy most folks, too. Grape nut cereal makes breakfast my way, and my way's all natural. No added sugar, nothing artificial. The natural sweetness of wheat and barley. Goodness in every crunch. See, there's no question grape nuts is right for you. Question is, are you right for grape nuts?
She's beautiful. She's the Estee Lauder woman, and there's no question of who she is. Some of the most beautiful women in the world look to Estee Lauder to give them wonderful things to choose from. Now, whatever you choose from Estee Lauder for $8.50 or more brings you this gift. After all, looking beautiful is Estee Lauder's gift to the world. This Estee Lauder gift is yours through October 27th at Dayton's Cosmetics.
Join the Navy and see the world? Yes, but today you can join the Navy and receive an education, too. For Navy people who are serving aboard Navy ships, the Navy sponsors tuition-free courses, accredited to many major universities. Navy technical schools, among the best in the world, combine on-the-job training with the finest professional instruction. Navy-trained people have excelled in so many fields of work that the American Council on Education recommends comparable civilian college credit be awarded for Navy courses completed. In addition, Navy scholarship programs are available to qualified individuals. Programs like Boost, NROTC, and the finest of all, the U.S. Naval Academy. Yes, you can still join the Navy and see the world, and also receive college credits for your Navy work experience. For more information, call 612-725-2797. This is John Gallus with Career Network Report.
Hello, everyone. I'm Don Shelby with an update of some of the local news headlines for this Monday. In the past hour, the Scott County Attorney's Office has dropped all charges against Don and Cindy Buchanan, accused of sexual abuse of children. Today, an appearance before the presiding judge in Hastings where the trial of the couple had been moved. The County Attorney's Office refused to turn over to defense attorneys certain documents related to the case. Earlier, the judge had ordered the material to be made available to the defense. Rather than do that, the county attorney told the judge would prefer to drop all charges. More coming up on this development.
PM Magazine. In an age of television shows that come and go, there's one that's been around for just about as long as any of us can remember, the Little Rascals. Well, of course, the leader of the gang was the lovable Spanky. Well, Spanky's all grown up now and living in Fort Worth, Texas. But recently, he was here in Minneapolis. I had a chance to get together with him and chat about the good old days.
We're going to start our rally. We hope you like the show. Everything is ready. We're raring to go. We'll give you all the latest.
I've been Spanky since I was 3 years old, so it's kind of hard not to recognize it, you know. Now, I'm very comfortable with it. I have no problem with the name Spanky. It's better than being called George Robert Phillips, and that's what my given names are.
Well, 56-year-old George Robert Phillips McFarland, alias Spanky, was in Minneapolis recently to develop a road show based on Little Rascal memories. We asked him to share a few with us.
Of all people.
Spanky, how did you first become involved with the Our Gang comedies?
In, I don't know, 1931. I was living in Dallas. I'm a Texas boy. And my aunt sent my picture in to Hal Roach, and Hal Roach sent a train ticket for the family to come out to California, and I made a screen test, and the fat kid got lucky.
Actually, the folks in Hollywood were captivated by their new find, signed 3-year-old Spanky to a multi-year contract for $50 a week, and over the course of 11 years, put him in 95 Our Gang comedies, like this one with Alfalfa and Porky, Our Gang Follies of 1938.
When it comes to chickens before the hatch, suppose you lose your opera voice and you want to go back to crooning. Then what are you going to do? Yeah.
In 1931, it was a lot of money. A lot of money. And of course, this is, toward the last of the Depression. And $50 a week, whether you worked or not, wasn't too bad. And of course, then a little bit later, as I progressed and I got more popular and got older, well, then of course, they increased the money. And I think the most that I ever made, I think, was $1,500 a week, and that was toward the last of my career.
And at age 16, that career did come to a halt. With no residuals, the money dried up, and Spanky found himself headed back to Texas for a new and shaky start.
Why, Spanky?
When we moved back to Texas, we came back to Texas in a 1935 Ford with no money, moved into a house that my brother and I had to chop wood to keep the house warm, and Mother cooked on a kerosene stove. I take a great deal of pride in telling people that I started at the top and worked my way down.
But the persistent Spanky, like the character he'd played for so long, picked himself up and, over the next 40 years, held a variety of jobs, from frying hamburgers to selling TVs. Today, all his energy goes to producing his upcoming road show, an experience for people everywhere who remember and love Spanky McFarland.
I'm very much at ease with people. I'm very much at ease with the camera. I'm very much at ease with the public. I've had a good life. I have no reason to be any other way. And I enjoy life. I'm a very fortunate man.
And how lucky I was to actually have the chance to sit down and view an old episode of the Our Gang comedies with Spanky himself.
Don't you just kind of get a nice warm feeling inside when you see that? Come on, I see the smile.
No, I look at it really from a detached attitude.
Really?
Yeah, I really do. I think they're cute, but come on, that was a long time ago.
Not that long ago.
Yeah, it was, too.
You still got a little rascal in you, don't you?
Yeah, I probably do. But I've got better sense now, though.
You combine it nicely. I like it.
Yeah. Well, I still enjoy life, and I've got my health, and I'm looking forward to a few more escapades.
We'll be watching.
Okay. I'll be watching back.
Spanky hopes to have his tribute to the Gang Roadshow ready by the end of the year. He hopes to bring his trip through the past to colleges, country clubs, and corporations all across the country. Well, right now, let's turn from the stars of yesteryear to the stars of today. Our local entertainment reporter, Bill Carlson, recently had the chance to meet Ryan O'Neal and Shelley Long, and he spoke with them about their new release, Irreconcilable Differences.
I set you free. I wish you shelter from the storm.
Ah! No! Wait a minute! Wait! No! Stop! You can't do that!
Billy Wilder said, Ryan, if you make a movie about Hollywood, tell the truth. And I think, if anything, we did that.
Wait a minute! If you hadn't talked me into deviating from Pink's safe plan, that car would still be here.
This is not my fault.
Fine. Tell Pink that. Yeah, tell him that I was getting drunk on margaritas with a hippie while his car was being stolen. Tell all 245 pounds of him fell out.
The new film, Irreconcilable Differences, is a study of relationships, people caught up in the courting ritual, the misery of a marriage falling apart, the child stuck in the middle. Actor Ryan O'Neal.
How can people get to a place where they're divorcing each other, where their children are divorcing them because they are behaving so erratically?
And no one is malicious in this whole thing at all?
No, I think the dream machine got them. The drive for success and the ambition, it throws people that it happens to. It throws them for a loop. They begin to take a different stock in themselves than they had. They lose sight of the people that love them and that they married.
So I just want you to be certain that you're ready to throw it all away and be out there on your own.
I'm ready, Mr. Hanna. I want to divorce my parents.
Actress Shelley Long plays the wife and mother torn between her family and her career. The common ground is not enough to save the marriage. How does she describe the film?
It is an experience picture that we, certainly in making the film, but I think for people who view the film will feel that they have had a very full and rich experience, that they have encountered feelings and thoughts and concepts that are very familiar to them.
Long is now expecting a baby. Does the film statement bring added significance to her own life?
There is now, in the sense that I feel maybe even greater connection to family, but that's sort of universal and something that's built into, I think, almost all of us. That there is, if not our own families, there is the family of man, and there certainly is a concern for people who don't have families about their careers and a relationship. Everybody wants a relationship, and they want it to be right. They want to feel loved.
You know, you're starting to look more and more like your mother. How is your mother?
Okay.
She ever talk about me?
Long's route to stardom began in Chicago, where she produced Emmy Award-winning documentaries. It was a long road to where she is today.
I just didn't know, I guess, at that point, early in my education, that a girl from Fort Wayne, Indiana could necessarily make it in Hollywood. I didn't realize that Carol Lombard came from Fort Wayne. If I'd known that, I might have come right out here.
For actor Ryan O'Neal, he sees this picture as a step toward his ultimate goal.
I'd like to be considered a serious guy. And I'm planning to do that before I'm through, is to be taken seriously and to be respected. She said the Academy.
In a busy career, has he found one particular high point he treasures above all else?
My highest point was being awakened by my daughter at 4 a.m. and I was in London making Barry Lyndon, and she was in Hollywood. And she said, "Daddy, guess what I'm holding?" I said, "What?" She said, "The Academy Award."
Next, we'll go flying barely 100 feet off the ground in a super spy plane.
The first time ever I saw your face.
You still remind him of the first time. Because Oil of Olay helps replenish fluids your skin once knew. Each greaseless drop eases dryness to revive the radiant look he loves.
Your face, your face.
Oil of Olay. It can help you look younger, too.
Feel good from your head to your solar plexus. Chalk up a win, no matter what your sex is. Look for the name with the double X's. Hair and skin care from Nexus.
Look for the double X's of Nexus at New Identity Hair Fashions, Minneapolis, and the Razor's Court, Brooklyn Center.
Naturally with Nexus.
Minute rice fits the way you want to cook today.
Olé! It's Spanish rice with beef. A minute rice cuisine in 20 minutes recipe. A fiesta of robust flavor. Made in one pan in 20 minutes. Just cook beef, tomatoes, vegetables, spices, and always perfect minute rice. Fantastico. Spanish rice with beef. One of the cuisine in 20 minutes recipes on the minute rice box. Another delicious reason.
Minute rice fits the way you want to cook today.
This is Mark Rosen inviting you to be with us Monday night at 6:30 for the Les Steckel Vikings Report. We'll have all the highlights from the Vikings game against the Super Bowl champion LA Raiders. Coach Les Steckel will offer his analysis on this most challenging game for his team. We'll also feature former Viking Ed Marinero. He'll tell us what it took to make the transition from football to acting. So be with us Monday night at 6:30 for the Les Steckel Vikings Report here on WCCO Television.
We
When you think of spy planes, you probably think of those high-flying supersonic kind. But some of the most advanced U.S. spy planes, well, they are indeed planes that fly at incredibly high rates of speed, but they also fly at just about 100 feet above the ground. Now that's low, barely kissing the treetops. And it takes a very special kind of pilot to fly these planes and live to tell about it.
The quiet beauty of the Nevada desert. Remote, empty, desolate. A perfect day for some photography. These are photographers for the Nevada National Air Guard in Reno. Their mission is low-altitude reconnaissance. To avoid being seen, they fly low and fast, very low. This is radical flying, skimming the desert at and below 100 feet and at speeds well above 600 miles an hour.
It's kind of like opening your car door and looking down at the pavement. Things are moving by pretty quick.
The unit adopted the name High Rollers. One of the talented full-time pilots with the Air Guard is Lieutenant Colonel Jack Thomas. At 43, with thousands of hours of flight time, Jack is one of the most experienced pilots in the unit. Captain Larry Matlock is 33, a backseater who is responsible for navigation and camera operation. Experience is the name of the game here. It's the first experience at low flying that's the hardest.
It was the most radical thing I'd ever been through in my life. I spent about, the first 10 minutes of the flight was fine, but as soon as we got on our low level, I got extremely ill. And I spent the next 45 minutes wondering how I was going to get through my career in this airplane. But after a couple of rides, I settled down, and boy, I wouldn't trade it for anything now. I love it. You know, the feeling that you get, I don't care if it's your 5th time up or you've been up 1,000 times. I think all of us still get excited every time we put our G-suit on and grab our helmet and go out to fly, because there's always something a little bit different than the last time you went out. There is something to be said about being able to go out at 100 feet and enter a MOA and pull the nose up and climb up through 23,000 feet in a matter of, a minute or so. You just can't compare it to anything else we do.
The Phantom F-4s are equipped with sophisticated cameras that can look forward, down, and from horizon to horizon. And unlike high-altitude spy planes who are vulnerable only to missiles, the high rollers have to worry about birds, turbulence, and the ground. This is real high-speed photography. These planes have no weapons, no armament at all. The only thing they can do is hide. That's where the low flying comes in. It's not an air show, it's survival. This is really a step back to the seat of the pants flying. There are no high-tech controls or instruments to help Jack stay off the desert floor. It's all up to his own perceptions and his own skills.
Most people, most lay people on the street think that you have some kind of an instrument in the airplane to tell you how high you are, but at that altitude, it's all eyeball to ground. There are no instruments there. You have instruments, of course, telling you what your heading and what your ground speed is, but as far as what your altitude above the deck is, above the ground, that's pure eyeball.
As soon as the aircraft engines are shut down, the cameras are unloaded. In a matter of minutes, the film is ready for inspection. They rarely ever make prints of the pictures. That would take too much time. The aircrew will instead study the negatives with a photo intelligence officer to point out the target. These images are what it's all about. In action, the targets would be behind enemy lines. Today, the practice targets are microwave towers, railroad tracks, and roads. The remarkable thing here isn't the clarity of the pictures or the detail they show. The amazing thing is the way these pilots fly. They are low-altitude, high rollers.
closed, bankrupt, for sale. Jobs lost to foreign countries because of policies Senator Boschwitz supports. Large deficits, low-interest loans to foreign countries, and tax laws that encourage American corporations to take jobs overseas. Joan Grow can make a difference. She believes it's time to stand up for American jobs, to take care of our own. Time to invest in our future. Joan Grow, a clear difference.
Hey, what are you making for dessert?
Pudding.
Plain pudding?
They love plain pudding.
Sure they love it, but...
Couldn't they, shouldn't they, wouldn't they love it more with Cool Whip?
The fresh taste of Cool Whip topping turns pudding, pie, almost anything into desserts they love even more.
They do love it more.
Did you say more?
Couldn't they, shouldn't they, wouldn't they love it more with Cool Whip?
Recently, John Fix at 22 Birdie Lane purchased some plumbing and electrical supplies to remodel an upstairs bath. He could have saved money on a wider selection at Knox. More importantly, he could have visited the Knox answer booth and gotten help with his plumbing and wiring questions. But John thought he would figure them out for himself. What possessed him, we'll never know.
Louis Rich presents turkey at its best. Turkey. Cooked and carved for you, whole from the bird. It's Louis Rich breast of turkey. Boneless and so naturally lean. There's more than enough for family dinner one night and sandwiches the next. All from the goodness of Louis Rich.
PM Magazine.
Timberdoodle Pumpkin Farm has about 5 acres of pumpkins, and they have pumpkins in just about any size, whatever you like, anywhere from half a pound all the way up to 150 pounds. Can you imagine that? Now's the best time to come out and pick pumpkins. In fact, this weekend and next weekend are the real busy time. They also have a lot of vegetables out here. You can get broccoli or cauliflower or squash. Again, this farm is in Apple Valley. She's tough enough to patrol the streets of New York City, but there's another side to Lisa Sliwa. Tomorrow on PM Magazine, meet a guardian angel who does double duty as a fashion model. Then we'll take a close-up look at a very special handicapped horseback riding program here in the Twin Cities. And find out what the latest looks are in designer fashions for kids. We'll discover why these expensive clothes are so popular. Well, I sure hope Steve's feeling a little bit better tomorrow so he can join me. In fact, Steve, you're not looking too well. How's the throat feeling? Oh, still a little raspy, huh? Well, we'll see you tomorrow afternoon, everybody.